Hi there, welcome to the first edition of the TSN weekly radio show. I'm the TSN Insider, and I'll be keeping you updated with trades, transactions, GM news, rumors, and much more. Today we are going to be talking about a couple of things. Rick Nash, Rick DiPietro, waiver wire pickups, injuries, our GM of the week, trades from the past couple days, rumors from around the league, and of course our weekly mail section to close it out. First off, Rick Nash, Columbus Blue Jackets winger. He's being shopped for picks and prospects. That's the main thing that Columbus wants back. Right now it's looking like a three-man race to get him between Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and New Jersey. Nash having a pretty good year, 44 points in 36 games, and that's on the 10th place team, so imagine what he could do if he got into a real team. And asked the Columbus Blue Jackets GM what he thought about the situation. He said, quote, "We have received 3 great offers, and it will be tough to choose one by the trade deadline." And he said that he is very interested in looking what happens for the whole Rick Nash situation. And it looks like something interesting is going to happen in Columbus. Secondly, Rick DiPietro. At one point in his career, he's an up-and-coming goaltender, but now due to recent emergence of the backup goalie Peter Budaj, DiPietro has found himself battling for playing time. Even healthy scratched a couple games. Rumor coming out of New York, Long Island, is that they're looking to trade him. They're asking for a first-round pick in 2013 or 2014 draft. Being a 78 overall goaltender, that's not that high of a price, and I think a team that needs a goalie should jump on that. So the past couple of days, there's been a couple trades. One of them was between Ottawa and Carolina, and it was 2 Ottawa Senators, Josh Bailey and Matt Darsh, and 2 Carolina, Nikita Filatov. So I'd say that Ottawa won that trade, and even though Carolina gets younger, they're giving up 2 players, and they're getting back Nikita Filatov. Josh Bailey and Nikita Filatov, they're about the same. They're giving up Matt Darsh, so Carolina shed salary. Ottawa gets 2 players, so I'd say Ottawa wins this deal. Second trade, to the Florida Panthers, Jaromir Jagr. To Vancouver, Quentin Howden, and a 4th-round pick. Vancouver wins this deal easily, in my opinion. Jagr is probably retiring at the end of the year, and Vancouver gets a potential top 6 forward and a 4th-round pick. So I'd edge that to Vancouver. Another trade, to Calgary, Dan Hamhouse, and to Vancouver, Mike Weaver and Marcus Granlund. So once again, I'd say Vancouver wins their second deal of the day. They get rid of about $3.6 million in cap space, and they also get rid of a terrible contract in Dan Hamhuis. He's making $4.5 million over the next 5 years. That's going to be tough to get rid of. Right now, when I look at Calgary, they're in a bad spot. Like, their top 4D are making nearly $20 million, and that's too much, about $5 million per defenseman. That's not even the biggest deal of the day. The biggest deal was between Montreal and Columbus, and that trade was to Montreal, Jeff Carter and Mark Methot, and to Columbus, Andre Kostitsyn, Thomas Plekanec, Josh Georges, Lars Eller, and Jared Tenorti. So I'd say Montreal wins this deal, but I wouldn't necessarily say that Columbus loses. Carter subs in for Plekanec, so that's an edge for Montreal. Andre Kostitsyn, he was on his bench, so it's not like he's actually losing anyone. Mark Methot's an upgrade over Georges, so Montreal wins the first 3 parts. Although they do give up their top 2 prospects, that's why I'd say Columbus doesn't lose the deal, because Lars Eller is going to turn out to be something special. There was some waiver news. Brian Boucher was put on waivers by Carolina and was claimed by Boston and Florida. And since Boston is ahead of Florida, Florida will be able to pick him up. And he's a nice backup goalie to have, good veteran presence for the team. Injury news. 3 injuries. RJ Umberger is going to be out 2 months. It's an undisclosed injury. The team hasn't revealed what he's out with. Sean Avery is out for 2 weeks, and Chris Letang is day-to-day, and that's about it for the injury news. So on the TSN radio, we're going to be doing a segment where we ask a GM a couple questions, and just get to know him, see what what we don't know about other GMs. And this week we have Carolina's GM, Melly451, and we asked him a couple questions. So the first question we asked him was if he's in talks with any other teams. He said that he's in talks with Colorado and Nashville. Not major deals, just a couple minor deals, but he's in talks with Colorado and Nashville. And then we asked if any players are being shopped on his team, and he said all the veterans. He said older players, so I'm assuming that's 30 and above. He's looking to get rid of because he wants to start a rebuild. So if you're looking for a veteran player for a cup run, Carolina's the guy to go to. We asked him what teams he thinks were going to do a lot of damage this year in the playoffs. He said, look out for Toronto, Boston, and Pittsburgh. And then we wanted to know what GMs he likes to trade with, because they're like fun to talk to, or they make fair deals. They don't, you know what I mean? They're not outrageous. He said his favorite teams to talk to are Winnipeg, Montreal, San Jose, and Buffalo. So keep it up. And we asked him what GM are you most impressed with this far. He said Vancouver, because, quote, I think what Vancouver is doing is gutsy by taking a good team and rebuilding. I like what he is doing, though. So that's Melly451, Carolina's GM. We want to thank you, and you've arguably one of the best prospects in the game in Jeff Skinner, so the rebuild should be interesting in Raleigh, North Carolina. And last but not least on our segment, we're going to end with our weekly email question. And this week's question comes from an anonymous source. Weird, but questions are, who do you think is going to win the 3 major nominated awards? MVP, Norris Trophy, and Vezina. So my vote for the MVP is Martin St. Louis. He's been playing really well this year, over a point per game stats, and he's basically carrying Tampa Bay. For the Norris, Drew Doughty, plus 17. I think he's leading defenseman in points, and he's not on the ice for when the other team scores, so that just shows you how good his defensive play has been, even though people are just saying he's an offensive defenseman. The Vezina, Thomas Vokoun. I know some of you are saying, like, surprised, but one of the most underrated goalies in the league. In Florida, he got it done. He didn't have the most talent, but he still got it done. And I think he's continuing to get it done in Washington. He's going to be a great pickup for them. That's about it we have covered on the show. If you want me to talk about things next week, just send me an email. The username is TSN, so send a personal message to TSN. And thanks for joining us this week. I'd like to have you back next week, and keep on sending me emails if you want me to discuss things or you have any questions.